Moreover, concerning a stranger, that is not of thy people Israel, but cometh out of a far country for thy name's sake. 1 Kings 8:41 KJV. Moreover, concerning a stranger. Stranger refers to someone who is not an Israelite, a foreigner. In the context of the exclusive doctrine, this stranger is acknowledged, but is outside the covenant that God made specifically with Israel. The fact that Solomon mentions the stranger does not imply inclusion in Israel's covenant, but rather acknowledges their recognition of Israel's God from a distance. That is not of thy people Israel. This line reinforces that the stranger does not belong to Israel, the chosen people. The covenant, promises, and blessings of God are explicitly for Israel alone. The distinction here is crucial. The stranger is outside of the covenant people, emphasizing the exclusivity of God's relationship with Israel, but cometh out of a far country. The stranger coming from a far country signifies an outsider who recognizes the greatness of Israel's God and is drawn to him. However, their distance, both physically and covenantally, remains clear. Their coming to the temple is an act of reverence, but not an inclusion into the chosen people. This highlights the idea that God's reputation extends beyond Israel, even though his covenant remains exclusive to Israel. For thy name's sake. The motivation for the stranger's journey is God's name. This signifies the power and renown of the God of Israel being known far beyond the borders of Israel. Yet the invocation of thy name emphasizes that the honor and worship of God are rooted in his covenant with Israel. The stranger acknowledges the sovereignty of Israel's God, but is not a beneficiary of the covenant. For thy great name's sake. This underscores the acknowledgement of God's greatness, which has been made known through his dealings with Israel. It isn't a call to convert the nations or include them in Israel's covenant, but rather shows how Israel's exclusive position as God's chosen people causes others to recognize God's supremacy. The great name refers to the fact that God revealed himself uniquely to Israel, and through them, the nations may come to respect and honor God, but without entering the exclusive covenant relationship. Moreover, concerning a stranger. The stranger here is someone outside the lineage of Israel who seeks to worship the God of Israel. However, it is important to note that this doesn't imply they become part of Israel or share in the covenant promises. These strangers are recognizing the superiority and sovereignty of Israel's God, but remain outside the special covenant that was exclusively made with the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. As a result, while their prayers may be heard, they are not brought into the same covenantal relationship as Israel, that all people of the earth may know thy name. While all nations can know God's name, this knowledge does not equate to participation in the same promises given to Israel. Knowing God's name and his deeds does not make them equal recipients of the blessings and promises, but instead points to Israel's role in making God's name known. The nations may witness Israel's relationship with God, but the covenant remains exclusive to Israel, when he shall come and pray toward this house. This shows the importance of the temple as the central place of worship for Israel, and by extension, any who acknowledge the God of Israel must come to Israel's place of worship. This doesn't mean they are made part of Israel, but it shows that all worship must acknowledge Israel's God through Israel's system, reinforcing Israel's central and exclusive role. If any brothers and sisters would like a verse breakdown, please put your request in the comments, and I will explain the verses for you. Shalom.